We're very lucky to be joined today by our judges, who will be lending their expertise and experience to the proceedings. And I will now ask the judges to introduce themselves. There's a microphone there. If you go down along the line.
Oh, thanks. Hi, my name's Simon Cole. I'm a tech founder of a company called Apariair. I'm also a CFO, so I help businesses to raise funding, grow, develop, and then hopefully successfully exit.
Excellent, thank you.
I'm Gordon Wiley, civil and structural engineer by training, who's worked in management consultancy, telecoms, consultant engineering, and now got my own solar PV business.
Excellent.
Buenos dias, Roland Howard, founder of a company called Liminal. We're a collective intelligence community working with the United Nations currently, and I'm an innovator, entrepreneur. Worked with all sorts of people like Ford, Lego, UBS, Unilever over the last 20 years. Very much looking forward to hearing all of your presentations today. Thank you. I don't think this is working. Is it working?
Sorry, it's for the recording, for the live stream.
It's for the recording, hello.
Yeah, we'll all project, it will be fine.
Hi, I'm Damon, founder of British Design Fund. We invested and support early stage UK-based design and manufacturing businesses.
Wonderful, thank you very much, judges. Should we give them all a round of applause? So now for some kind of housekeeping rules. You all have 3 minutes to pitch, and then the judges will have 4 minutes for comments and questions. And I would also like to introduce our timekeeper, Neil, if you can give us a wave. And Neil is going to help us keep strictly to time. We've got lots of wonderful pitches to get through, so we're going to be quite strict with time. So apologies if we interrupt you. But what you'll see is Neil will hold up a 1 minute sign as your warning, and then we will also have a stop sign. You finish your sentence, but we will be keeping you to this, so please be conscious of that. I'm really happy to be your host today to introduce your pitches, and how we're going to do it is I will announce the person who's up to pitch and also the person to follow them. And if this second person can go over to the fabulous Gideon and receive their mic, and then remember once you finish pitching to go back that way to get rid of your mic so we have enough for other participants. So thank you again for everyone joining us on the live stream. Please be conscious of walking in front of the camera just so we keep it as unobstructed as possible. And we're starting off with the pictures from Peru, I believe. Excellent. Vamos, Peru. And then afterwards we'll move on to Mexico. And during the lunch, our esteemed panel of judges will pick the top 3 pitches, and then later this afternoon, we'll be announcing our winners in the awards ceremony. So best of luck to everybody, mucha suerte. And now we will be starting with Billward Zorrilla Aliaga, followed by Bryan Lucero. So Bryan, if you could go and get your mic as well. Excellent. A big round of applause for our first pitcher. Yeah, when you're ready, yeah.
Okay. Good morning. Okay. Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. Well, this is happening in our world. Well, water is a human right and a vulnerable resource. It's important to emphasize that per ton of processor, 2.5 cubic meters of water is consumed. Besides, water supply is a problem that many companies face with communities, generating social conflicts that affect the Peruvian economy. Well, I'm Bryan Lucero, an associate researcher from National University of Engineering. I'm glad that I studied civil engineering due to I realized of the large impact that this career has in my country. Besides, through the help of my advisor, I realized of the highest importance of the water in our lives. That's why we're studying mining tailings for more than 10 years in order to optimize the use of water in the transfer of these mining tailings, which are mining waste. Well, we propose this innovation, which is unique in the world. We propose to reduce the amount of water in the transfer of these mining tailings through the use of a chemical reagent that eases the transfer of this waste, thus getting a water reduction up to 90 liters per ton of processor due to the large mining production. Well, that implies a saving of millions of water liters per day due to the large mining production. We can tell how the fluency of the first sample significantly increases without adding water, just adding that kind of salt. there are 40 potential customers, which are mining companies. They're looking to optimize the use of water in their installations. That's why we are going to offer a service, a consultancy and advisory service. They invest significant sums of money in water management. Well, this innovation is in patent process currently. It's important to emphasize that it's a product of a research and development project as well. Like I said, this innovation is unique in the world, and it's important to emphasize that we have the support of specialized laboratories from my university. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm so grateful to LEAF program because it made me improve my entrepreneurial skills. Besides, allowed me to do relationships with many entrepreneurs. So the next step, what we are looking for is that we are looking for funds in order to keep and improve our know-how or expertise. Because this is just a starting. We would like to continue. The bottom line is that we can live without water. Thank you very much.
Comments, please.
Thank you very much. Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Can you just describe for me again the solution to the problem that you've identified? I didn't quite understand what the innovation is.
Okay. Well, we can tell that this is a mining waste, and we can tell that it has a high concentrated, less water instead this sample. So in mining companies are used to consuming a lot of water in order to do that it becomes transportable. So instead of using more water, we propose to use this chemical reagent that this is a solid and that eases the transport of these samples instead of using more water, thus getting a water reduction up to 90 liters per ton of transported mining tailing. So instead of using 90 liters of water, we propose to use this chemical reagent, which is based on chemical properties.
I've got a two-part question. Firstly, is the reagent toxic in any way? And are there any competing reagents? How do they perform relative to your reagent? Why is yours better?
We realize that it's even better because this chemical reagent currently is used to obtain tap water in Peru and in many countries in America. So this is aluminum sulfate, and it is currently used in the process to obtain tap water. So that's even better because that implies that it can be used in the mining industry as well. And the bottom line, or at the end of the day, is that this chemical is used currently to obtain tap water.
My question is, it better than competition?
Are you asking me about previous technology, right?
Other reagents.
Okay. Other reagents. Well, we were looking for patents similar to this innovation, and we didn't found any similar competition so far. That's why it's in patent process currently. We didn't find a similar competition. We could say that a previous technology is about to use more energy to pumping these kind of samples, but this implies a higher cost.
What's the kind of, so the business model you mentioned was setting up a consultancy to advise them on this, so why that versus not necessarily just selling them the
Well, the business model is based on, after getting the registration of the patent process, and we are thinking to publish in an index journal in order to have a greater scientific support. Then we are going to offer them through a consultancy and advisory service. That's why I was talking with my mentor, and he advised me that it's crucial to obtain previously the patent process. Then we will be able to offer them 40 to 40 potential customers. Because just think about it, for example, if Tia Maria mining project had been developed, Peru would have become the first the leader producer of copper around the world. That's why we know that mining industry is very important too.
Excellent. And on that note, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for questions. Thank you very much, judges. And congratulations again. Congratulations on your pitch bill. You'd like to go over this way?
Oh,
Muchas gracias.
thank you very much.
And next up, we have Bryan Lucero. And if Giannina Honorio, can go and get your mic as well, please. Wonderful. When you're ready.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Bryan Lucero. I am from this city that is far from Lima, the capital of Peru. This is a small city in the jungle, in the Amazon. It has tropical weather. When I was growing up, I see many people getting infection diseases and die because due to lack of diagnosis and medications. That's why I study molecular biology, and when I finish my study, I begin to work in developing technology for human health. Until 2016, was estimated that 216 million people get infection with malaria. We have now 500,000 of deaths because of that infection. And 70% were children under 5. That's why in my business, in Biodynamos, we are making technology to improve the access to the diagnosis to remote locations. We make all the technology. We make a software and biomolecules and biochips. But our core technology is to consist in designs biomolecules to get cheaper, faster, and stable technology to get to these vulnerable remote locations. We are focusing now in developing technology and get the patent uptimers. That is what we are doing now. These patents we want to sell to medium-sized companies that have expertise in research and development and transferring technology to big companies like Abbott or Pfizer. We want that. We want to sell the patents to medium-sized companies. This is. Now we have 10 patent pendings of biomolecules. We raised about near to $500,000 for grants for research and development of Grand Challenge Canada and CONCITEC, that is the Council of Science and Technology of Peru. Our team, our founder is Paul Milon. He is a research scientist that works like a principal research scientist in Max Planck Institute of Technology. I work as an R&D manager. I have experience in private and academic sector in development of technology. And our team is a very multidisciplinary team. We now need $150,000 for the PCT process in 5 countries and to continue develop the system validation of the technology that we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, judges, for your comments.
Just to clarify my understanding, you've got a software application which helps someone remotely without assistance diagnose whether they have malaria.
Yes, we are making all the technology. We have software. We are making all this technology, and we have the software. We have the biotechnology too. But our core is a biotechnology company. This is why we design biomolecules. But complementary, we make the software too.
Is the software available in iOS and Android?
It's in Android too, because this is not our core. The software is not our core. It's for proof the technology.
And with the 150,000 raised, would you work on the software or would you work on
Yes,
other aspects?
because we need 100 for the PCT and 50,000 to improve the software. Because we think that software is a very important thing in our business, because we need to get remote locations. That's why we need to improve the software to make this possible.
It sounds very impressive. What $150,000 isn't going to be able to compete with the likes of Pfizer, etc. I'm curious, what's your exit sort of in 3 to 5 years if this takes off as you hope? Where could this go? And yeah, what's your exit plan?
We don't know now.
You don't know?
Yes. I would like to have the answer for this, but we don't know how much. Because we know that, that our technology is better than the biosensors that are doing now, because this is a more stable molecule. They are using antibodies, but this is based in other technology. We think that it could be competitive in that form.
How much more money will you need to get this through to market to start selling to the pharmacy companies?
We want to sell patents.
So the 150 should get you to the point of license?
Yes, because we want to sell the patents, but in the PCT. We are now in the national phase of the patents.
Does the molecule need to be tested to comply with medical regulations?
Yes, the molecule is tested now. The molecule is tested now, and with that, it's sufficient to have the patents. But to get to the biosensor, needs medical trials.
Excellent. Any more questions? No? Excellent. Well, thank you very much. And Bryan, also for your mic. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And next up, we have Giannina Honorio. I'm so sorry. I will be better. And we then, after that, we'll have Giuseppe, Garibotto, Saldaña, if you could go get your mic. And best of luck.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, my name is Giannina Honorio. Since I was a young girl, I was always told that it's better to be skilled than strong. That pushed me to face many challenges, and I became an engineer and a volunteer firefighter. After I became a firefighter, then I had to face some realities that firefighters do require a lot of strength to face many challenges. It's needed 5 firefighters to maneuver just one fire hose. And even for the stronger ones, this maneuver is not ergonomic, is inefficient because you waste a lot of water, and it's not inclusive. Many firefighters willing to help, like women, are left aside. So that caused me to not be able to help the way I wanted to. And it was a shared worry because many firefighters were willing to help, but they were not able. I joined my team, and we came up with a solution that once again shows us that being skilled is better than being strong. We came up with this solution that reduces the number of firefighters needed to maneuver a fire hose from 5 to 1. And at the same time, it makes this maneuver safer, it's time efficient, and it's more economic than the other ways we have now. You can use this device attached to a truck. You can use it with its own tripod, and you can attach a thermal camera, giving it more efficient in the attack angles of the fire hose. Our team is conformed by engineers that are also firefighter volunteers. We have a patent for this design, and we have 2 types of users. The government, with 200,000 firefighters brigades, a million of firefighters around the globe, and private companies that are in risk of fire, and because of government guidelines, have to hire private firefighters. We have made 3 successful trials in firefighters brigades. We have 1 invention patent and 100% of purchase intent from all our users. Our business model is a licensing model because it's the cheaper way to make it available for more firefighters brigades. We're going to approach our clients through fairs, technical visits, and events. Our progress in LEAF was based in our licensing business model, for which negotiation skills and a patent strategy is vital. Currently, we are looking for firefighter equipment manufacturers with whom we can join and make this device available for more firefighters brigades, and research partners, because we have identified more opportunities to improve the ergonomic in this industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I love the presentation and the sketches and your own personal story. That was fantastic. I'm really interested in the idea, and in particular, my concern is that it might be easy to copy from other manufacturers. So can you tell me about your intellectual property and what is unique and protectable about your idea?
Okay. Well, it's protectable. The functionality of the device, it can have a tripod. You can attach it also to a truck. It's very light. We have now a national patent, and we are filing a PCT for that. Yeah, well, it's protected by the patent. You can patent the usability and the shape and things related to that.
Thank you.
You said earlier you had 3 successful trials. What's a successful trial with something like this? Did it involve a proper fire?
We built this device following the NFPA norms, so it can be attached to any size of fire hose. And we gave this device to 3 firefighter brigades, different. They have different formation as volunteers. They tested, and they were able to fulfill their tasks.
Are there any other similar devices in use anywhere in the world?
No, there are no similar devices. That's why we have the invention patent. We are currently in the Expo Patenta, that is a fair for patents of these years in my country.
I wasn't meaning something which is very similar to your tripod, but any other support frames for fire hoses, because it seems an obvious need. And it just surprised me that nobody's come up with a solution in the past.
No, currently the maneuver is done by several firefighters, and they do a line formation, and they support each other to hold the fire hose.
Have you spoken to any of the manufacturers that you would license this to?
I didn't hear.
Have you spoken to any of the manufacturers yet, so your customers that you
No, because we were in the patent process, so we didn't have the chance to do some publicity or marketing, because we are in that phase.
And your patent is in Peru?
Yes.
Yep. There was quite a high-profile news story in the UK about a month ago where a fire hose got out of control. I can send you the link, but it might be a way to illustrate the problem to tell the story in the future. So I can share that with you afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Yes, the commander for London is a woman as well. I know is the first woman here in the country to become a commander. Yes.
And we have time for any other last comments from the judges. Everyone happy?
Just one question. Have you contacted the head of the London Fire Brigade, given that she is a woman?
I went to the London firefighters headquarters, and I was received for one of their assistants, and I left a letter because she was really busy. I tried to contact her here on Twitter also.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for that presentation. And next up, we have Giuseppe Garibotto Saldaña, followed by Henry Chico Léon. If you could go get your mic. Thank you very much. Un fuerte aplauso.
Hi, my name is Giuseppe Garibotto, and when I was 14 years old, I founded my first company, where I earned more than $350 in one single day, thanks to the power of networking. After years of starting small ventures, I developed my own concept of entrepreneurship, which is being committed to yourself, to your values, and your worth. It's about solving problems in the simplest possible way while being profitable, socially responsible, and committed. We do this at Quickit, my startup, where we help local entrepreneurs to engage new customers and bring the best possible experience. Through these 2 years in the market, we identified that there are many small to medium-sized B2B companies that want to develop a B2C channel, but they can't afford the terms and conditions of going into big supermarkets. It destroys their cash flow. they can't go into one-to-one sales because it takes too much time. And there are other good entrepreneurships that are located in low-profile places. So sometimes people don't even know they exist. To solve this, we created a marketplace where you can order goods with a trustworthy service, as long as they fit on a motorcycle and they are not alive. You can also book spaces and make reservations. It works through 3 mobile apps that are connected in real time: the users, the business, and the driver's app. And we as founders have all other apps to manage the sales in real time. Our business model consists in charging businesses 10% fee, if people want to use our software as a service, an upfront fee to stay in the platform, and we are validating a licensing model with other entrepreneurs around the globe. We also charge customers a fee for ordering goods and for successful reservations. Our go-to-market strategy is affiliating the 10 businesses in strategic industries, such as cat litter, pet food, and wine industry. We are going to develop a consistent communication so people become aware of what makes us different. And we are going to be agile, fitting customer needs. In the last 2 years, we have engaged more than 4,000 happy users and delivered more than 2,000 orders, earning awards in the process. In the last 2 weeks, I made several contacts that will allow us to scale our value proposition further after validating it in Peru. This will impact in data protection, business development, and potential investment sides of the business. We have 3 founders and 1 intern in our team who are the keystone of this project. And I'm proud to say that I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. What are we looking for? People who are committed. We are looking for potential partners or collaborators with high level of expertise in data science, full stack development, or digital marketing. If you have entrepreneurial mindset, are disruptive, and have a long-term vision that can add value to Quickit, I want to speak to you. I invite you all to join us in this journey to helping local entrepreneurs scale their businesses. Thanks.
What's the kind of competition in your domestic market?
It's Glovo, Rappi, and Uber Eats. Our name is Quickit because we began in the gastronomic industry, and what I have come to realize when I came here to UK is that we need to be more agile, we need to pivot, because the gastronomic industry in my home country is saturated. They are all operating below cost. So we ran an MVP through WhatsApp a month before traveling here, and it had a huge success with small businesses that want to get into the B2C channel. And we are going to keep pivoting a lot because failure is not an option for us.
You've done really well building the apps. It must have cost quite a bit of money to put all that together because it looks really professional. So do you feel that your next requirement for spending is going to be marketing because you're competing in a sector with, you said you had Uber Eats out there, we've obviously got delivery here. They have a lot of money.
Yes.
So getting ahead of them in the queue and getting to the restaurants and so forth is quite difficult. What's your plan there?
My plan is to get more talent into our startup, because with data science, we could predict demand on restaurants and other small businesses by hour. We could tell them, tomorrow you're going to sell, for example, 20 of this plate. So we will save them cost, and we will also be able to liquidate products, like if it's going to be the end of the day and they still have in stock, they will be able to sell it half the price, and we will then have to pay it as a startup. So we want to be different by applying data science, and also we are not going to spend on marketing in the short term because we still want to validate this new business model that is, it goes to big, small to medium-sized companies. Our MVP was a huge success because we didn't have to spend $1 on it. Businesses were selling, now we can finally deliver you some goods, or you can book spaces through this platform. That way they didn't have to give information to every single customer. They just went to the virtual store, and they will find out all the information they needed. Is that, does that answer your question?
I'm just curious about the trial that you mentioned a month before coming to London. What were the products that were most in demand, the non-food products that you saw the most opportunity around?
The number one was cat litter. We have sold tons. Cat litter, it's sand for cats. Sand for cats, really. We sold tons of it in 1 month before coming here. Other were like courier services for graphic industries. We wanted to travel books, and we also made contacts with people in the wine industry that told us they can't afford the loss of cash flow when going to big supermarkets. Or there are other platforms that charge these entrepreneurs like a 30% fee, Uber Eats, for example, Glovo. And we charge less because we charge 10% to them and to the end customer.
So how will you deal with the delivery? Because that's obviously quite a big part of this. You've got competition in all sectors. I mean, even Amazon probably to some extent. So how will you manage your drivers, bring them in, make sure that they're of high quality, they don't let you down?
At the beginning I mentioned, I believe that entrepreneurship is also about being socially responsible. So we affiliate drivers, but only as the demand grows up. So they can keep engaged, having a lot of journeys. We meet with them twice a month to ask them how was the experience and to also educate them about customer service, because they are the face of Quickit and the face of our partners. So we plan to have a sustainable growth with the amount of drivers that are affiliated to our platform. And yeah, it took us some months to get used to it, because it's a human resource that has direct relation with us.
So, like, how much do your drivers get paid? What's the model?
It's fixed plus a variable according to the distance and the kind of service. When it's food ordering, they get like 3 soles. It's local currency. It's like a little less than $1, $0.9 plus $0.2 for each kilometer, from the restaurant to the customer's address, but in real distance. For example, Glovo pays them they pay like $0.3 plus $0.1 for each kilometer, but in a straight line, as if you could go through buildings.
Excellent. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for, but thank you very much. Excellent. And then next up we have Henry Chico Léon, and if Lizeth Lopez Portal can go and get her microphone. Okay, mucha suerte.
Thank you. Good morning. I am Henry Chico, agroindustrial engineer with a master in agribusiness, co-founder of AgroOrganic, and so passionate about the environment. In my region, Ancash, Peru, the cultivation of scallops starts in the 90s, and all this industry was growing to an exponential way for the market demand. But what's the problem? The suspend systems in the sea are generating a lot of organic waste called biofouling, and only Ancash region produce more than 3,000 tons every month. And the pollution is affecting the marine species and the 1,000 people near to the production area. So to face this problem, my team was created AgroOrganic. Biofouling is converted to organic fertilizer to sell to the farmers, and the absolutely benefits, it's an excellent fertilizer, 30% cheaper than competition, with the potential for continuous supply. How do we do? The production system is transported to a washing area, and using bacterial digestion, we transform all the organic waste in fertilizer in only 1 month. We had validated 2 prototypes in liquid and solid presentation with the financial support of Concitec from Peru. For the business model, in these 2 weeks, I could redesign my business model, because I include the aquiculture company as a customer. We're going to offer the service to remove all the biofouling to the sustain productions, And with the final product, we're going to sell to the farmer industry with a profit of the 50%. Currently, we have of customers 2 associations and 1 store farmers. To begin, we're going to attend all the demand of the Llancay region because there are a lot of farmers who produce organic products to export. And the major competitors are humus and compost, but this is a similar product with more expensive price. This is my team, 2 doctors and specialists in agriculture and environment, and 2 agroindustrial engineers. And what do we need? $200,000 investment to expand the business, and we hope to establish further strategic partnership to growth. So this is agri-organic clean technology for the agriculture. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Where's the biofouling come from? Like, is this it's new, like it's impacting the scallop trade, but where's it come from?
The compost of the biofouling?
The biofouling that you're taking out of the ocean, where does it come from? Or what's causing it?
The biofouling, the algae...
Byproduct of farming the scallops.
The farmer scallop. Okay.
Sorry, I was just not clear on where the biofouling is coming from. So that's a byproduct of the scallops. Understood.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe.
Have you thought about other waste as well? So you've talked about scallops, but all animals and creatures and so on produce some waste. Have you considered other waste as well?
I don't use the scallops. I use all the organic waste that it's in cruise and in the suspense systems. All these algae and other organisms, and using bacterial communities, we convert all this organic waste to organic fertilizer.
What's your margin on each of these fertilizers? Because obviously there's a lot of collecting up of the shells, so there must be a cost of collecting all those, moving them, storing them, and then converting them. So do you know your gap between what that costs and what you sell it for? What's your sort of profit?
Okay, the profit is considered that currently we are provide for free of the agriculture companies, and all this is the cost, the production cost only with the process. But actually, we are going to include other service, and we hope that the profit will be more.
I saw that slide. I thought it was exceptional. If that's your profit, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
I was just curious what the $200,000 is for. How will you invest that to grow the business?
Okay, this investment is for expand the business in my country, and there are more customers who export organic products, and this is a product with a lot of demand. But actually, the companies are using mostly humus and compost, but we need introduce this new product with a good marketing strategy. We need this money to use in the marketing strategy and machines to put a washing area. Yeah.
So what's your key differentiator from the other 2 competing products that you mentioned? Is it cheaper? Is it better? Is it faster? What's the key differentiator of your product?
With my product is more cheaper because this is a waste of the industry, and currently this industry is it's not the core business. So they are going to take to my company this product because they don't know how do a good final disposition for this waste.
And what are the farmers kind of doing with the waste at the moment? Do they just throw it back off the side of the boat after they've taken the scallops out, or do they bring it back to shore?
Could you repeat me?
So at the moment, what's happening to the waste, your raw material at the moment? Do the boats, they just throw it off the boat, or do they have to bring it back to shore when they clean the scallops, or does it get cleaned on boat? I'm trying to understand how you get your raw material and the kind of costs involved.
Okay, actually, this is a grand problem in my region, but we only are working with the 10% of all these organic waste in these sites.
But so if you didn't exist, what would happen to the waste, the byproduct? So if your business didn't exist, what would the farmers do with the waste? They'd just throw it back into the ocean, or?
I'm selling my product to the farmers, but
No, okay, it just doesn't come back to shore. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, judges. And now we have Lizeth Lopez Portal, and if Monica Alexandra could go and get her microphone as well, please. Thank you.
Good morning. Please try to help me imagine London, where it's a city where people, maybe the 66% of the population here, have a flushing toilet. It means the third part of the population use public spaces as a toilet. Well, that's a reality of the third part of the world population. I am Lizeth Lopez, an industrial engineer for Peru, and today I will talk to you about dry toilets. A little about the context. In the world, around 2.3 billion of people doesn't have access to a sewer system. And in my country, in Peru, around 62% of the people living in rural areas do not have access to a sewer system. What's the problem? More than 500,000 children, dead children every year around the world. Why? Because of the environmental pollutions and the disease risk. So, my team, a group of Peruvian engineers, scientists, and I are developing a dry toilet, a technology that can separate feces and urine. But what are the key benefits of this dry toilet? First, that doesn't need water and doesn't need to be connected with a sewer system. And also that is low cost and construction time is shorter. I'm not just selling a product. I'm offering to the people dignity, health. The customer are private companies. It is shown for our experience. But the users are people living in rural areas. This is our product. And our strategy that we are doing now is trying to be in all the channels that we can become famous with this product. TV, radio, invitations, environmental fairs, etc. About my UK process, since I was here in the United Kingdom, I could improve my model. Now I have a sustainability model where I could see things like commercial issues and end users. Now I know that I have to think about waste removal, transportation service, and also about maintenance. My challenge now is to close the innovation cycle, something that I call to close the innovation cycle. I'm here. This is the present stage where I am. And I want to be here. I want to develop ecological briquettes to help these people from rural areas to use their solid and liquid waste as an ecological fuel. What do I need? I need money, I need researchers, and I need partners, because I think marketing and sales are important points to develop this kind of products. I would like to finish telling you that dignity and health, as I told you, are universal rights. So try to help me to help to the third world population. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. It's shocking to me that more people in the world have a mobile phone than a usable toilet. And I really like the innovation cycle that you've described there. There's a few organizations I'm connected with that might be helpful, and I'll connect to you afterwards. My question is, again, what is different or unique about your product versus the long drop latrine? How is this better? I think you talked about the separation of liquid and waste as what's unique about your product. And if that's true, then what is kind of protectable? Is this a commercial business, or is this a kind of social program that a government might invest in? So I'm interested in the business model, the intellectual property, and the uniqueness of the product. So 3 questions.
Yeah. Well, we have now a product that is a dry toilet. We can separate feces and urine. We want to be in this stage. Now, we are not a company. We are just validating our prototype in a community. And what we would like to do is to close the innovation cycle. We don't have a pattern, it's true. We don't have nothing to listen now, but we want to do is to focus in this model. Because yes, of course, nowadays exists some little examples like a dry toilet. But to do that dry toilets and to connect with this innovation cycle, you have to have not only money, you need passion. And that is something that we are developing. It's comfortable, it's ergonomic, it's portable, we can transport this bathroom, it's easy, because in countries like my country, there are many airways, and you have to try to move it, be transported, because it's necessary for the airways or the movements.
I understand the concept of the dry toilet, but what I don't understand is how the waste gets from the dry toilet to some center.
Yes, we collect the liquid and the solid waste, and we want to put in the community like a process where inside we can convert that waste into ecological briquettes.
So does that mean each person transports their own waste?
Each person, but that's the model, to be in the community. That's why we are focusing in rural places, rural areas where we are, yeah. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Any more questions from the judges? Okay, lovely. Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
And now we have our final pitch for this section, which is Monica Alexandra. After this, we will be having a short break. So yes, Monica.
Yeah.
Mucha suerte.
Gracias.
Hi, my name is Monica Chavez from Cusco, Peru. I come to you today to discuss a unique problem I am solved based on my experience as a third-generation craft woman and as a computer scientist. For the last 20 years, I've watched and worked with my mom for develop her craft store in Cusco. This is our reality in this moment. My mom is doing this right now. And in Peru, we have 6 million small and medium-sized enterprises who share this same reality. We work all the days, but it's hard. It's hard to stay all the days waiting for someone coming to the retail and buy it. And worst of all, these persons don't have labor rights, like healthcare or paid time off. Of these 6 million, that's a huge number, only export the 0.1%. In another hand, we have the formalized businesses, who is a little bit, and export $43 million for this artisanal sector. What it happened with this? Why the more of people don't export? In Texart, we want to be the gateway to the formal economy. The reason because these businesses don't export is because are informal and don't know about e-commerce. E-commerce in this moment in Peru, it's a little bit. The person don't know about Amazon, don't know about Etsy, and we want to change this. What we want to, for the artisans, connect with the buyers for B2B. For the artisans, doing to make money, sell around the world, and generate artisan community, because it's that we need. And for our buyers, we unique handmade with culture value, transparent supply chain, and certified quality with the products. All of this with average 20 or 25% of commissions. Our marketplace is up and running in this moment. You can go to the page. Supporting 2,000 artisans. We have a revenue for $25,000, a profit for 7,000. We sell for 4 countries in 18 months. For this, the current global market size for handicrafts is the $5 to $6 billion in around the world. The Peruvian exports are here for $43 million, and Peruvian export want change and growth. I'm potential with our portal. There are some of our achievements. We stayed in this moment with the Startup Peru and the Royal Academy. I'm so proud of this. In here, I learned about work. It's more important about B2B and not B2C, because B2C is have a more difficult with marketing digital segment. It's difficult to go to the clients. But B2B, stayed with corporates or searching to be Etsy for B2B of Peruvian. It's more important for us. This is our partners in this moment. We have Waira, Google for Startups. This is my team. We are developers and business people who are passionate about to help these artisans. Looking for more B2B partners in this moment for distributors, import and export companies, tourists, interior design stores. Help us to connecting these artisans with the world. Thank you so much.
Where do you see your biggest market to sell to for Peru at the moment? Which country?
Why don't...
Which country do you see having the biggest opportunity for Peru to sell to?
In this moment, we sell for USA, Canada, Mexico, and Argentina. We sell for these 4 countries in this moment. And I think knowing the reality of UK, handmade products have a big difference than whatever products, because it's a product is unique for you. And the person say, oh, it's only for me, it's customized for me, and have an empathize in this way. I think this is UK and USA or Asia, because Alibaba it's normal. The person in Asia using Alibaba normal.
How do you attract buyers and distributors to your platform?
We work with my family 40 years ago with artisans. We have a big networking in artisans with a different kind of products.
But the distributors, the customers, how do you attract them to your platform?
For the platform, it's organic. In this moment, we don't do digital marketing, but we have this revenue in this moment.
Have you analysed the transportation costs and distribution costs to check the viability of selling products from Peru in other countries?
Yeah, we do it the first pilot for logistics, and it's a little bit more difficult for selling to Peru because when you have the products in USA and have the logistics, it's more easy. I thinking we have partners. We do it those companies to export or import for doing this. for the logistics. We have this enterprise have more experience than us for this logistics problem. For I don't know. Yeah.
Did you say in the last 2 weeks you've realized perhaps to shift your focus from B to C to B2B? Is that correct?
No changing all the business model, but my mentors and the person who helped us all this week, it said B2C, you need to branding, you need more things. Yeah. But B2B, you have more profit, because in our case, for the average ticket for a client, it's, I don't know, 100, but with a B2B, it's 3,000. Yeah,
so,
and it's...
So just with B2B, whom specifically would it be helpful to connect with? Who have you identified who would be a good partner for your business? I'm just wondering if there are particular organizations that you'd like to connect to. Do you know who?
We have 3 different partners: Farfetch, Novica, and Etsy. It's a partners who, if you want connect with the person in this enterprise, it's so changing our business model in this moment.
Sure. And your mum is on board as well, I presume.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You considered encouraging local artisans to form local cooperatives to interact with businesses and your portal. So rather than an individual artisan using your portal, to encourage the artisans to work with the local artisans and form a cooperative.
Yeah, for this, we work not only with the artisan who do the handmade, we work with all the family, because the daughter of the son of the artisans want to know about technology, want to know about market, and I think it's the way for we want to work with this, not only with artisans, of all the family.
And I'm afraid that's all we have time for, but congratulations, Monica.
Yeah, thanks.
Excellent. So congratulations to everyone who has just pitched. It was a wonderful start to the morning. So congratulations, everybody. We'll now have a short 10-minute break, which will be just outside here. And Pamela will be starting us off when we come back with the rest of the pitches from Peru. But congratulations, everybody. Brilliant. Sorry. Hi, everybody. If everyone could take a seat. And I'm afraid I've been very remiss. We're running over a little bit, so I'm going to be much stricter in this section. So first off, we have Pamela, and if Paulo Vela could go and get his microphone, and he's already there. Gosh, we're running very smoothly. Off you go.
Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Pamela OBando. I'm from Peru, and this is my project, Low-Cost Heavy Metal Detection Kit. When I was younger, my grandfather had a farm. He used to work several hours there. Even though it was really hard, he enjoyed it. There are several families that use their farms as a small business. In the case of cocoa, there are about 100,000 cocoa producers in my country. In Peru, agriculture is the second main country. Cocoa is one of the major products that is exported. It's about 85,000 tons per year. But right now, with a new regulation of European Union this year, they have changed the limit of cadmium in chocolates, inside the chocolates. So this is a problem for us. Why? It's because our soil is contaminated with cadmium from mining and other industries. There are solutions in the market, but these solutions for identification and quantification are expensive, no regional covering, and take long for giving the results. Me as a microbiologist and my team, we developed a cadmium detection kit that uses bioengineered bacteria to detect cadmium. We have this kit worked in laboratory level. The benefit is easy to use, reduce analysis time and result, and it's cheaper. Farmers could use this to detect cadmium and identify the quantity in each block, then decide which of these trees can make cocoa products and where to export. We want to sell directly to farmers using as a partner kit Cocoa Innovation Center and cooperative, because they already have the relationship with the farmer. Our team is composed of members of 2 major universities in my country and one of Belgium. We already won a grant from Belgium, about 67,000 euros to develop the kit. But what we need is to test this kit in the field, some financial experts, and how to sell to these farmers. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your presentation. Could you explain how the cadmium gets in the soil? Is it just naturally occurring, or is it because
there are 3 sources? One is mining, one is natural, and the other is fertilizers that were used before long ago.
You've obviously come up with something which is very important in Peru. It's obviously clearly an issue, but as a scalable product going beyond Peru, do you think this is something that you can expand and become scalable into other markets and other countries?
I have 2 options. If it's another market, yes. Universities, food industry. And globally, yes, because there are farmers around Latin America. And they need easy products, easy kits to determine cadmium or other heavy metals. Yeah, it could be escalated.
What's the kind of revenue model? How much are the kits for the farmers?
That's why we need someone that help us to price, but the cost for each kit is about less than $3.
And what's the next step? So the farmer uses your kit, they detect the cadmium level, And then what happens next? What do the farmers do next once they have that information?
You see, this is their farm area, so not all the area is the same about quantity of cadmium. They can choose which tree has less cadmium, what cocoa products has less cadmium than the others.
And how much difference to the price of cocoa does the level of cadmium in the soil make?
What?
How much difference, what percentage difference to the value or price of the cocoa produced is the level of cadmium? Or does it mean you can't export to a country?
They can't.
You can't export?
They can export. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, judges. Thank you very much, Pamela. Excellent. And then next up we have Paulo, followed by Piero. If you could go get your microphone. If you go.
Oh.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Paulo Vela. I'm a researcher in biomedical informatics. And when I was 9 years old, I witnessed the consequences of a late diagnostic in my little brother of cerebral palsy. Since that, I've been an advocate in finding new ways to improve methods of diagnostic at an early age to avoid this problem in children in Peru. So as my brother, in Peru, there are 25,000 babies born prematurely each year. From them, 70% have difficulties in feeding. And feeding is the most complex behavior that the baby has, and is highly related to its cerebral development. So they stay at the hospital up to 45 days, and each day costs $600. So it is around, for the healthcare system in Peru, it's around 10 million in a period of 2 months. So the standard of care that the doctors have to evaluate this problem is just a checklist with a low diagnostic power and is based in subjective observation. So in AgaLab, the solution that we've developed is a portable feeding monitoring system for newborns in order to reduce the average stay to 5 days and reduce clinical expenses up to $3,000 per child. So the system works by taking measures through a pacifier attached to an electronic module. Then it sends these metrics wirelessly to an app where the doctors can visualize these patterns. And then all this data is uploaded to a cloud when they can get some recommendations from predictive analytics. Our business model is focused in licensing to sell the rights from the device, the app, and the cloud analytics to small and large medical device companies. And in the case we kept the cloud analytics, AgaLab will continue the research, the new product development, and we keep doing tools in AI. Our team has been working for 4 years in developing medical devices for the hospital and is well known in the academy back in Peru. So by now, so far, we have our first prototype, that is the device and the app. We have made partnerships with some important medical institutions in Peru, and we have made a validation with 60 full-term babies. So in UK, I've changed my model, and it becomes licensing, and I've learned negotiation to get a better agreement with medical device companies. And so the ask is an investment for further research and validation and introductions to possible partnerships in pediatric institutions. So as I said, it's not only help people, I want to improve people's quality of life beyond the circumstances of their birth. So please help these babies feel the love they deserve at home and at the right time.
Thank you for sharing your story and an excellent presentation.
Thanks.
I'm interested in the move towards the licensing business model just in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm curious whether you've considered in that time, you talk about approaching medical device manufacturers, but of course, what you're generating is data. And so the big tech companies, they're all very interested in healthcare. And some people argue that Amazon will be the largest healthcare company in the world in 5 years' time. I don't know if I believe that. But so have you thought about those companies as potential partners as well? And how do you, if so, how do you differentiate and protect what you're doing with respect to those companies?
Well, back in Peru, we are working in the patent process. So I know that the the main value here is the data. So I haven't considered yet those systems. For now, I'm considering like big companies like Philips that is already working. The pacifier that we use to take the measures is from Philips. So, and still we are deciding if this will work as a medical device or maybe as an accessory to a pacifier. So the cloud analytics will work anyway. And if we can be like a data cloud base for further research in the behavior of babies, it will be the best.
I was about to applaud you for the dummy because I thought that was very clever. Did you say that's Philips that designed that, not you?
No. Not the design. I designed the
You designed
device.
the dummy?
Yeah.
I think that's very, very clever.
Yeah.
It's genius.
Yeah.
Can it tell you other things about the baby based on how it's breathing, based on
Yeah.
how it's chewing?
This sucking problem is like a coordination in between sucking, swallowing, and breathing. So when the baby is born prematurely, it stays longer time in the incubator and is feeding like through a tube that goes directly to its stomach. So the muscles are not fully developed. So they need this orofacial therapy and some frequency of this therapy to be in a better, to fix this problem. So when they don't have enough frequency of this therapy, and because doctors let to misdiagnose it because they just put a finger in their mouth to find if they are sucking, if the suckling is good or not, it's very subjective. And they have 3 more chances to go back to the hospitals. Then moms get stressed and worried, and they start to give them formula so the baby doesn't gain weight properly. So it's like a chain of consequences that comes from just a little problem that is a better way of diagnostic.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Un fuerte aplauso. And next up, we have Piero, and if Priscilla can go over for her microphone.
Okay.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Piero, and I run a company in Peru that is called Mazven, and we are developing and inventing automatic machines for industry. And today, I want to talk to you about one of the best inventions we have, and that we call DosMatch. DosMatch is an automatic machine to fill liquid products in large containers. The idea of this invention came up in one of the visits to our client, where we noticed the high rate of accidents they had in their filling process, causing injuries and even blindness. This happens because in Latin America, there are no manufacturers of this type of machines. So these companies have to develop their own filling system, which is unsafe because the operator is constantly in contact with a liquid product. It's not ergonomic because the operator has to load a heavy hose. And the worst is that this type of procedure generates lots of spills. That means losses of money. This is why we have invented DosMatch, getting results better than expected. We have reduced the operating cost up to 30%. And the most important, we have reduced the high rate of accident to 0. This means to our client an annual saving of $250,000, and this is why their investment returned in only 4 months. These are our competitors. They are good companies. They have a high-performance machines, but they have bad adaptability to Latin America requirements. So this is why they haven't sold any machine there. We are the best option in Latin America because we have a high-performance machines with a good adaptability. These features are the reason why we've got the national IP last year. Our machine costs $30,000 to manufacture, and it takes 10 weeks to get ready for operation. We are selling it at $65,000 with a year of warranty. We also offer the post-sale services that consist in the annual maintenance at $2,000, and after a year of operation, we offer the quarterly preventive maintenance program at $500 each maintenance. Our target market is the chemical and the oil industry. In Peru, there are more than 50 companies, and in Latin America, there are more than 1,200 companies in this sector. We expect to reach the 10% of the national market and the 25% of the Latin American market. That in total are 305 machines that we expect to sell in the next 5 years. We already sold DosMatch to BASF, which is the largest chemical company in Peru and in the world. Our total revenue last year was $35,000, and this year our total revenue is $47,000. This is our team. As you can see, we are all engineers, so this is why we are in an acceleration program with a business incubator in Peru. We are looking to raise $65,000 to build our sales team. And this is our revenue projection for the next 3 years. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your presentation. Could you explain how your device is more adaptable than any competing devices on the market?
Yeah, well, actually, the machine that have developed here in Europe, because there are kind of similar machines to the mine here, but they need a lot of external equipments, like conveyors, like, I don't know, many equipments that makes that you need to change or adapt your factory to the machine. Our machine adapts to your factory. You could put it in the corner and work there.
I thought your presentation was very slick, very nice slides, very well put together. On your numbers, though, you've asked for $65,000, but if you sold one of your units, you can get $65,000. So it doesn't sound like you're asking for very much money.
Well, actually, it's to build our sales team. We want to contract 4 people to sell the machine. This is why we need the machine, because this is why we need the money, because the machine we manufacture on demand. We don't get a stock of these machines.
What does it currently cost you to manufacture the machine, and what's your margin on that? And yeah,
$30,000 to manufacture all the machine, including cost, direct cost, and human resources.
Okay, so over 50% of sales is net profit.
Sorry, what?
Over 50% of the sales is profit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah. Well, actually, we sell at this price because in Peru we are the only one. So we have to take the advantage in this time.
Could you just go back to your numbers, the 3-year forecast? How many units does that equate to? So year 2, $50,000?
Well, yeah, sorry. Actually, this is the 2018 and 2000 now. We're going to end this year with a $50,000 of revenue, and this is our projection for the next year.
So 50,000 is sort of like one unit sold this year?
What, sorry?
Is that one unit sold this year?
Yeah, because it takes a long time to sell a machine, around one year to negotiation with a customer, with a client.
And with the investment in and building your sales team, what do you think in 3 years' time, what do you think your revenue could be from the point of...
In 3 years?
Or how many units do you think you could be selling a year?
If we have a sales team that we haven't got yet, I think we thought we could sell in the next 3 years around 100 machines.
Very good.
And have you protected your intellectual property?
Yeah, in Peru, and we are just applied to the PCT.
If BASF or somebody else said, I want 100 machines next month, how would you manufacture that?
Yeah, actually now we've got all the resources to build 10 machines at the same time. But it's kind of hard to maybe to get that number because it's a long process. You have to negotiate with a client. It's really hard to get 100. It would be great. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much, Piero. Felicidades.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now we welcome to the stage Priscilla and Raisa will be up next. If you can go get your microphone.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Verastegui, and I'm a co-founder of Sustainable Fishery Trade. I want to start introducing a fisherman. 7 years ago, I met Paco. I really felt lucky to learn to dive thanks to him. He showed me the magic of the sea, and also his daily hard work. This experience led me to see the irrational way that we manage our resources marine. In Peru, only with our artisanal fishery fleet, we are capable to supply 20% of total giant squid consumption worldwide. But behind this number exists a total absence of technification. 2 that keep the fish cold, generating 90,000 tons per year in discarded fish, affecting 17,000 fishermen and the sustainability of our regions too. On the other hand, the export companies demand the proof of the temperature control because this data doesn't exist. Our product is a refrigeration system developed, powered by solar energy, designed for these small-scale boats. The device maintains the cold temperature up to 10 days and reduces the use of ice by 20% or less. The satellite software delivers the reports about the temperature in real time. We generate incomes by the direct sales to the fishermen, owners of boats, and the owners of process plants with permission of fishing. And we give a technical support by 3 months and give the software licenses by 6 first months. Then an annual payment, it will be charged. The fishermen can obtain, well, they obtain 20% more profitability through the national, accessing for the system through the national loans with low interest rates by the Fisheries Development Fund. And the process plant get better prices due to traceability. The system helps to reduce the carbon footprint in the sector. We are a multidisciplinary team and working more than 7 years in a fishery sector, and co-founded Sustainable Fishery Trade, a social enterprise that empowers fisher and connect them directly with the better markets. Now we are working with 150 fishermen in Peru. They are today are potential clients for the innovation. For the next year, we are looking for a grant for $100,000. This amount will be designated for finish our prototype and get a production line and develop a marketing plan. There are our alliance and our warranty of our working. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm interested in the business model. So, will you license this product to the fishing?
Yeah, we generate incomes by sell the hardware and the software. The hardware is cost about $13,000, and they can pay it by with the average trip per year, and accessing through the national loans with low interest rates. In Peru, we have a Fondepes, which is a fisheries development fund, so they can pay it in 1 year or less. Exactly. And when the software will be payment in after 6 first months.
Okay. But essentially, I think what you're saying there is it's a loan that people can take to buy the product over a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
Have you considered licensing,
exactly.
offering it as a service rather than a product? So I'll talk to you afterwards, but yeah, there's maybe some different ways in which you could structure the business to make it more affordable, and controllable on your side.
We, our other business model is we articulate the fishermen directly with the clients. So in the future, we hope to articulate these fishermen for the exports. So we obtain incomes by the direct sales, and they for improve their productivity and sell in better prices their products.
Could you explain whether the solar electricity is stored in a battery on board the boats, the fishing boats, or is it not stored?
Stored?
Stored. In other words, are you storing the solar PV electricity generated in a battery?
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. When the system is charged by the solar energy, the control panel activates the refrigeration cycle. So the sensor in the storage are be able to register the data, the temperature data, and sell it in remote for the clients, maybe the factories or the final clients. This system is integrated for the control panel because the fishermen just have to on or off. It's very simple for them.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Priscilla. Un fuerte aplauso. And then next up we have Raisa, Lama, Segura, followed by Ricardo. If you could get your microphone.
Hello, hello. Here you have some samples.
Good morning. I'm Raisa Lama, and I'm co-founder of Ento Peru, applying biotechnology to beneficial insects. Well, let me tell you a story. When I went to a rural area, a trip of mine to a rural area, I went to a small town called Cañaris in Peru. I was hungry, and a girl called Maria gave me some chicken, but I couldn't eat it because it was so overcooked. So what I didn't know, it was that in that town, people just eat chicken once a month, egg once a week, no fish or no meat ever. No? This is Cañaris. So it ignites me to apply my professional career and experience to sustainable development projects focused on food accessibility. You know, we will be more than 9.7 billion people in 2050, which means that the demand for protein will increase. In a context where the traditional sources of protein are not sustainable anymore because of the excessive use of resources as water, space, feed, and greenhouse gas generation. So we need to find a new alternative source of protein. So we propose the insects. And well, in Ento Peru, after 2 years of research, we have developed an innovative protocol to culture the edible insect called Tenebrio molitor, which enhances some nutritional values like the protein and iron with higher values than traditional sources of protein. To obtain 1 kilogram of the product, we use less than 2 kilograms of food and less than 2 liters of water in comparison to traditional sources as meat. We transform the insect into a protein powder. This protein powder can be used in many different ways in the food industry. So we have developed this protein bar with some Peruvian superfood. Currently, we are selling 1,000 bars per month, and we have received some interest from distributors from Asia, Europe, and USA. Our target are organic food consumers and athletes in B2C and B2B channel. But our initial goal was to help people like Maria in Cañaris. So we have a technology transfer program to develop the first sustainable insect farms in Peru and empower the communities. This is our team, multidisciplinary engineers. And well, we are raising $2,100, most of which to regulatory advice costs in the USA because of the lack of regulation in my country. So this is Ento Peru. Thank you so much.
How many insects does it take to make that, just out of interest?
Okay, well, the proportion is close to, the proportion is 1 kilogram of insect to obtain 500 grams of protein powder. No? And in that bar, we use protein powder plus Peruvian superfood, no? Cocoa, organic cocoa, and seeds as kiwicha and tarwi.
Do you see your kind of core route to market through your own brands like this, or kind of supplying raw material to the big producers?
Sorry?
Do you see your kind of core sales coming from developing your own brands like this, or through supplying the raw material to other food manufacturers?
Well, in the case of the insect, we culture the insect in a laboratory. In the case of the other ingredients, as the cocoa and grains, Peruvian seeds, we have from family agriculture, from highlands in Peru.
But your kind of your business model, is it to always have your own brand, or really the technology behind it and sell to companies that produce protein bars?
Well, we have the protein powder with multiple uses in food industry, and some brands are looking for buy this protein powder. But we also have developed a line that this is called, this is the molitor, that is our own brand, no? But just for this kind of products.
Okay, so it kind of was almost like a proof of market and then
Yeah,
some attraction.
it was a strategy to market, to create a culture of edible insects.
An awareness of it, yeah, very good.
What feedback have you had from consumers of your products compared to eating chicken or fish or beef?
Excuse me?
What feedback have you had from customers when they've been eating your bars compared to eating meat or fish?
Okay, well, first we thought that this product could be to everybody, no? But then we mostly for children and teenagers in my country. But then we realized that the target market are organic food consumers and athletes, no? Mostly athletes love that kind of products, no? Because this is different from the other protein bars in the market because it's natural, no? It has free chemical, free additives, free added sugars, free soy, no? In comparison for the other bars that are so synthetic and imported, most of them which sell in Peru.
I thought the slide you had with the amount of water and the amount of CO2 was very compelling. I think that's a really strong story. I'm a vegetarian, so I'm not particularly keen on to try the product, but I do think maybe talking to Unilever or some of the big kind of multinational food companies might be interesting, but also dangerous for you because the branding, the positioning, how to sell this to customers and persuade them to eat insects, which requires a big kind of behavior change over the next few years is a real challenge. But yeah, this is a great slide and a very powerful story. Even though I don't want to eat your chocolate bar, sorry.
But well, that's vegetarian, because our target public said that some of them are vegetarian. So we developed another line of bar with spirulina. No? So that's the Molitor Green Protein Bar.
So Raisa, I'm going to have to cut you off there. Also vegetarian, but very willing to try the insect bar, I think. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. And now we have Ricardo Rodríguez Torres, if you can come up to the stage, and if Robinson Lopez Monzon could go for the microphone. So here we have Ricardo.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi everyone. Before I begin, I want shake hand with your neighbor, please. Like this. Thank you. Please. Yep. Actually, this usually action is not possible for some people with disability, specific people with upper limb disability, like Diana, Benji, and Charo, with different dreams and expectations. For example, the dream of Diana was ride bicycle without super wheels. But also, in Peru exists more than 400,000 people with disability in upper limbs, and in the world, more than 130 million people. But the real problem is this. Only the 0.001% of people who need a prosthetic could acquire one. But why? That's the problem. The expensive cost of the prosthesis device and the long time to deliver, and without the completely functionality, but the worst is not exist the program to monitoring the adaptive for the users. For that, in Pixet, we develop low-cost device with short time to deliver, with complete functionality, and also I improve the psychologists, mechanical, and medics monitoring program. For that, we join the engineering, the 3D printing, the medicine, and the psychologists to develop a complete program to guarantee the correct adaptive process of all our users. Users who can improve the disability into a superpower. Our business model is this: the Pixet Credit, the Direct Sale, and we work with charities because we work together with companies who want the real inclusive in the world. And also here in UK, we improved to a subscription plan for free prosthesis for everyone to need one. Also, we use the social media and the press to communicate our missions. But our best way to catch new users are the health professionals. And also we improve to work together with health institutions because we want to attract more users and customers. We have more than 400 people attending, 69 prostheses delivered, and more than 7,000 impact people, and also job and school reintegrations and companies certified as inclusive. That's as our results. And finally, Diana can ride bicycle without super wheels. But that was impossible without a correct team, with engineers like me, psychologists, specialists in sales, marketing, doctors, and designers. Now, we want invest, partner, or mentor who help us to improve and scale up Pixel to other countries, and why not here in UK. We put a hand to the future, and now I invite you to put a hand for a more inclusive world. Thank you.
That was a fascinating presentation. I'm astounded at the cost of your prosthetics compared to the competition. But could you explain how the messages are transmitted from the brain to the prosthetic?
We know the prosthetics business is a big business, but the people don't understand the message is not only about the products. It's about the mindset of the people who use the prosthetics. For that, we improve the brand and the marketing we use to perfect and understand the message of that. And for that, we work not only about the product, and I work with a complete program to guarantee the corrective process of adaptive for the process.
This is entirely manufactured through a 3D printer, is it?
Yeah.
The whole thing. So I think Gordon's point is still valid. How does it connect to the brain? How does
no, it's not connected with the brain. This model is a mechanical model. This action with the elbow movement, and the user do this, and with that, grab the objects. And also we develop myoelectrical models, connect with muscular sensors to improve the movement. For example, if you do this, a little muscle movement, the sensor active the actuators to catch or do signals with the hand.
Can you just talk me through how much it costs to produce each of these?
Yeah, the cost produced is, for the mechanical model, is $160, and the margin is the rest of the cost.
And how much? Remind me, how much did the mechanical version sell for? Was that $1,300?
Huh?
What was the sale price of the mechanical version? How much you sell that for?
Yeah, sorry.
What's the sale price? How much does it cost?
$1,500.
And how long would this last for? Because I would think a 3D printer isn't as durable as, say, metal or whatever they're made out of. So how long would this last me?
Yeah, actually, we know the real life of the prosthesis is between 5 and 6 years. But for example, for the child, it's necessary renew every 1 or 1.5 year, because with the grow-out, it's improved new prosthesis. For that, here in the LIFT program, we improved the subscription program to guarantee the prosthesis for every the user need.
Just quickly, there's a company here in the UK called Andiamo. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they produce, you should talk to them. I can connect you. I think it'd be interesting for you. Yep. So I'll connect you afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, judges.
Thank you.
And now finally, our last presentation from Peru, we have Robinson Lopez Monzon. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Well, let's hope the last will be the first. And I'm Robinson Lopez, and I want to share with you a quick story. 70 years ago, my grandparents started farming rice in the north of Peru. That small farm secured the future for next generation reaching me. But 4 years ago, we were close to losing the farm. So I decided to go ahead and run the business. And that's how I discovered the farmer and security. Because the knowledge they have today is not enough to secure a good production. And they are working on just 40% of yield potential. And just 13% of them have access to financial services. So what is going on with this? We are pushing 60 million family farmers in Latin America to food and security. And they have a need of $8 billion for financing their daily activities that today are not available. So that's why we decided to build Agros, a full-stack solution to bring digital and financial inclusion to family farmers. But how this works? Well, we offer a remote farming advisory service. So now the farmer makes a call to our service. We'll record the message and translate it to text. Through that, we collect information from different sources to complete the request from satellite images, weather information, and field data. And we generate insights that are analyzed by agronomic engineers that turn that into a recommendation. But here comes the cool part, because that recommendation is delivered to the farmer through our friend Jose. It's an avatar that is a digital advisor that has become really famous today in the farming sector. And with all the information that we are gathering continuously, we have generating a database that is really valuable for different stakeholders. And today, we are selling data to microfinancial lenders to improve the risk assessment so they can give a loan to the farmer with lower interest rates. And we are offering the remote farming advisory service for just $3. I know what you're thinking. It's too little. How this guy is being profitable? Well, here's the solution. We have developed an agri-leader program. What that means? We train and hire rural agents to register new farmers and also to collect information in the field. So we reduce our operational costs and we are generating new opportunities in rural spaces. And after that 1 year working, we are working with 900 farmers. And today, our farmers have increased their incomes by 12%, and 100 of them have received a loan for the first time in their life with lower interest rates. Our goal for 2022 is to reach 100,000 farmers. And to accomplish that, we are working on generate a new collaboration strategy with the stakeholders, and we are happy to announce that 2 of them have been initiated here in UK. And this is the team who make it possible. My co-founder and best friend since college is an agribusiness specialist with more than 10 years working in the field. And me, I'm the geek of the team. I was researcher for Peruvian Navy and also a LEAF fellow. This is Agros, and we ask to you to help us to be in contact with microfinancial institutions, social impact funds, and agricultural technology companies to be part of us and keep growing in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Can you just talk through the kind of the journey of the farmer, like why they make that initial phone call and pay that subscription fee?
Well, actually, the farmers, they first make a call, so we put in contact him with a rural agent that it's close to his place. He goes, he registers the farm in our system, so we collect the georeferencing information of the farm, and through that, we ask to the satellites all the information for the last 3 years to start analyzing some indicators, also the weather historical information, and through that, when the farmer asks for a question like, when I have to apply fertilizer? Well, we starting to analyze all the data. We send some agent to collect some images in the field, and all this data is sent to an expert, an agronomic engineer, who see all the information and say, okay, so you need to apply tomorrow with this concentration, and that message is sent by the voice call message to the farmer, so they just receive like a call of a friend, of Jose, that is her avatar, and it's the best way to accomplish that because in rural spaces, 30% of them are in illiteracy. They doesn't know how to read. So the voice call message is the best way to deliver the value in these spaces.
I'm curious if you've heard of a community in Africa called WeFarm.
For sure. This is let me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're inspired by their model, or you're working with them?
Actually, we are in contact with them because they are part of MIT Innovation Inclusive Challenge that they won the last year, and we have won yesterday this year the contest. So we are in contact, and actually we are also trying to figure out how we can add value from our different approaches to solve the problem. Because when more than one company is solving the same problem, the only way is just collaborate between them.
Yeah. So one thing, just quickly, as I understand it, with WeFarm, they're not using smartphones. It's just it's via text message, and because that's the most widely usable technology.
Exactly.
So I'm just wondering whether Jose the avatar, even though it's fun and it's engaging, but does your user base have access to smartphones?
No.
And is that the right technology?
Jose is just like a voice, a character, but the farmer just interact, just making a phone call or receiving a phone call. So they just need any cell phone, the most basic ones, because as you say, they doesn't have smartphones.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
How successful is the complete automated process? I assume that you rely on voice recognition to gather information from the farmer, and then to try and diagnose whatever the issues are and give a solution. But in terms of a farmer ringing up, how likely is it he'll get the answer he requires from a completely automated system? How many times out of 100?
Also, in parallel, we have like a line that they can ask for particular questions. But right now, actually, the metric is that they have to increase the profits. It's like the KPI to measure the success. And right now, 80% of farmers increase the yields in the next 3 months, and the rest of other farmers in the next 6 months, because it depends also if the farmer follow the instruction. So there's like a personal variable there, but actually pretty successful. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you much, Robinson, and congratulations for your win yesterday. Excellent. We'll now be stopping for a 10-minute break, and then we'll start off with Mexico. And congratulations to everyone from Peru. Vamos, Peru. Felicidades a todos.